Greetings class, welcome back. In today's lesson we are going to finish lesson B in unit 19, and today we're going to be on page 115, but before we do that we're going to review our lesson from last video and go over the answers on page 114. So as a reminder, in our last video we were talking about cause and effect sentences and how to combine those using so and since. And if you remember, we can combine some sentences with since and some with so, and since goes with cause sentences and so goes with the effect sentence. So for example, if I wanted to use since, here's two example sentences, and we want to combine these together using since or so, or maybe both, but not in the same sentence. First, we need to decide which is our cause sentence and which is our effect sentence. And the way I told you to do that in our last video was to ask why of each sentence and see which sentence answers the other sentence. So if I said, why will I go to the store? Why will I not go to the store? Is it because it is too late in the day? That makes sense. Or I could say, why is it too late in the day? Because I will not go to the store? That doesn't really make sense, right? So when we ask why of this sentence, this gives us the reason why. And why am I asking why? Because if you remember when we go over a WH question, why gives us reason or cause, right? So when we ask why, we get the cause, right? So this, since it is late in the day, is our cause sentence, making this one our effect sentence. So if I wanted to put those together, as we talked about yesterday, using since, since it is late in the day, comma, I will not go to the store. I can also combine these two sentences using so. However, instead of putting my since in front of the cause, I'm going to put so in front of the effect. And the way that would look is, I'm going to do it up here where I have lots of room. Comma, it is late in the day, comma, so I will not go to the store. Good. One last piece of review, or maybe two more things of review. With since, with the cause statement, the cause clause, the cause sentence, that can come first or it can come second in the sentence order. So I can say, since it is late in the day, I will not go to the store, or I can say, I will not go to the store since it is late in the day. The since, the cause sentence can go first or it can come second. However, with so, the cause has to come first, then the effect. So when we use so, the effect is always going to come second. It's not going to come first when we're joining so, okay? So it would always be cause, then effect when we're using so. The one last piece is we can use, when we use since or because, they have the same meaning, or we can use so and therefore. Since and because have the same meaning, and so and therefore have the same meaning. This is especially important if you can remember that since equals because. That can help you remember that since goes with the cause sentence. Okay, so in our last video, we listened to the answers on our for our assignment, and now we want to go over those. And we're going to be on page 114. And just as extra review, I will talk about those so that we are all on the same page. We all have an understanding. So we did 1 and 2 yesterday together. Let's look at number 3 together. The sea level is rising. Towns near oceans are in danger of flooding. Okay, so let's ask, which is our cause sentence? Why is the sea level rising? The towns near oceans are in danger of flooding. That doesn't tell us why the sea level is rising, right? But why, if we asked why are towns near oceans in danger of flooding, because the sea level is rising, that tells us that answers our question. So the first sentence, the sea level is rising, is our cause sentence. And so we are going to combine these two sentences using since. And to do that, we're going to put it in front of the cause sentence, which is the sea level is rising. And so the answer is going to be so here's our first answer. All right, let's look at number 4. Global warming changes weather patterns. Many places will have less rainfall. So again, let's decide which is our cause sentence. Global warming changes weather patterns, or why does global warming change weather patterns? Because many places will have less rainfall. Or why will many places have less rainfall? Because global warming changes the weather patterns. Okay, so there, global warming sentence is our cause sentence. So we're going, well, that's our cause sentence. Then number 4, we're going to join the two sentences by using because. And remember, because comes before our cause sentence, so we're going to place it in front of the global warming changes sentence. So this is what it will look like. because global warming changes weather patterns, many places will have less rainfall. Okay, let's look at number 5. The mosquito population will increase. There will be an increase in diseases like malaria. Okay, again, let's find our cause sentence. So let's ask why. Why will mosquito populations increase? There will be an increase in diseases like malaria. Why will there be an increase in diseases like malaria? Because the mosquito population will increase? That really seems to answer the question. So our first sentence, the mosquito population will increase, is our cause sentence. In this, number 5, we're combining the two sentences by using so, and if you remember, so goes in front of the effect. Therefore, we're going to put it in front of the second sentence, there will be an increase in disease like malaria. So this is what number 5 will look like. The mosquito population will increase, so there will be an increase in diseases like malaria. Right, let's look at number 6. The ocean water is getting warmer. Typhoons and hurricanes are becoming more frequent. Okay. Hopefully this sounds like a repetition now, because it is. Let's find the cause sentence. Why is ocean water getting warmer? Because typhoons and hurricanes are becoming more frequent? Doesn't make sense. One doesn't cause the other. Why are typhoons and hurricanes becoming more frequent? Because the ocean water is getting warmer? That makes sense. Okay, so and in this number 6, we're combining the two sentences using since. So as you remember, since comes before the cause sentence, so we're going to put that in front of the ocean water is getting warmer. So here's number 6. Feel free to pause this video either as we do it or at the end when we're finished reviewing the exercise, so that you can be able to make sure you get the spelling right and everything in the right order. Right. After my sip of coffee, we'll do number 7. All right. Number 7. Let's read number 7. Cities are growing. Many plants and animals may lose their natural habitats. Let's find our cause sentence. Why are cities growing? Because many plants and animals may lose their natural habitats? No. Why may many plants and animals lose their natural habitats? Because cities are growing? Good. Yes, that's our cause sentence. Cities are growing. That tells us why. For number 7, we're combining the two sentences using therefore. If you look at the top of page 114 in the useful language, there's very specific rules about how we do that. For therefore, we use a semicolon before therefore and a comma after it. So we're going to put therefore before a second sentence, many plants and animals may lose their natural habitats, and make sure you use the semicolon as well. All right, let's do number 7. Okay, here we go. Feel free to pause it, check your answers. Sorry about the glare. Okay. Now that we've reviewed and gone over the answers, and hopefully things have become much clearer, we're going to turn to page 115 and we're going to do some more practice. So we're going to do a quick transition, and when I see you in a second, we'll be joined by our special guest, and we will continue to practice putting cause and effect sentences together using so and therefore. See you in just a minute. Okay, class, now we're going to look at page 115, and we're going to do the discussion part on part B, and then section 3A as well. And again, today we have Miss Susan to help us out with that. Welcome back, Miss Susan. Thanks for being here again.
It's nice to be here. Always enjoy. Wish I could see the class, but I'm seeing them in my imagination.
Yes, at least we have the privilege of this, the technology that allows us to do that, which is great.
Right.
So,
right.
Excellent. So let's go over the directions for part B at the top of page 115. It says talk with a partner, combine sentences in different ways using the connectors since, because, therefore, and so. And just as a reminder from our last video, we put the since or because in front of our cause sentences, and we put so and therefore in front of our effect sentences. So here are 2 examples to help you get an idea about what we're about to do. Ms. Susan, could you be person A in the example box at the top, and I'll read section person B.
Okay. Since people are building homes and forests, animals are losing their natural habitats.
Good. Or, so in that example sentence, the highlight is on the cause, and so we use since before people are building homes and forests. And then example B, animals are losing their natural habitats because people are building homes in forests. What I think is interesting about that sentence is they put the effect first, and then the cause after the effect. So when you're doing these this exercise at home, think creatively how you can, you don't always have to put the cause sentence first. Sometimes the effect sentence can come first and then use so or because afterwards. Okay, so we have 2 columns. We have a cause column and an effects column, and you're going to match those together just like we did in the example. Ms. Susan, would you like to demonstrate another one for us?
You want me to do number 1?
Sure.
Okay, I think the best way Because people are building homes and forests, animals are losing their natural habitats.
Good. I'm also going to do number one to show you that you can. There are some of these that you can do more in more than one way. So, for example, number one, since people are building homes and forests, animals are moving into towns and cities. So, there's two ways to do number one. Would you like to do another one?
Yeah. If I turn number one around, we did the effect first. We could say animals are losing their natural habitats because people are building homes in forests.
Good.
It's the same idea, it's just different order.
Good. Yes, exactly. Which is what was like in example number B, example letter B.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Well, the point being, I was just highlighting that you were doing that same pattern.
Right.
Let's see. I'll do I'll do one for number two.
Okay.
There is habitat loss, so sometimes they attack people, and they being animals. So there is habitat loss, so sometimes they attack people.
Okay. Since there is habitat loss, the animals are frightened.
Good.
That makes sense?
It does.
I mean, these don't have to go one across.
They do not. You can.
Okay.
You can
mix jumble them up.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Animals are moving into towns and cities because there's habitat loss.
Because the animals are frightened, sometimes they attack people.
Good. And that way you made one of the effects a cause, which works. But
oh, yes.
But it even though they list it as an effect, you can also make it a cause, which is a good to show the show how flexible English is, and how you don't have to keep them in two firm columns.
As long as the ideas make sense.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, that was a good example to show how, as long as you can make the ideas work, you can combine these in many different ways. Let's see. I'll do one for number three. Animals are moving into towns and cities because animals are losing their natural habitats.
Okay. Wild animals sometimes attack people because people are afraid of them. Or if you turned it around, I have to reword it, I guess. I said people are afraid of wild animals because they sometimes attack people.
Yeah.
It's the same idea.
It is. It's good. Another one for number three. Let's see. Since animals are moving into towns and cities, sometimes they attack people.
Mm-hmm. Because animals are moving into towns and cities, people are afraid of them.
Good. Yes. Um, one for number 5. Since wild animals sometimes attack people, people are afraid of them.
Mhm. Well, let's see, what have we not used? The animals are frightened because they're losing their natural habitats. We may have said that. I've lost track of what we've said.
Yeah, but I think it's another slight variation. Sorry. You could also say another one would be, well, people are afraid of wild animals, so they kill the animals.
Ah, yes.
Or the animals are frightened, so they attack people.
Yeah.
Maybe one more example.
I'm trying to think of a different way to. I can't think of one we haven't already used. Which one do we need to?
See if you can start a sentence with an effect.
Yeah, that's what I was working on. I think we've said this, but I'll repeat it. Because the animals are frightened. Well, let me start over. Since the animals are frightened, they sometimes attack people.
Yeah, that's good.
Or I don't know. I think we've used all of them one way or another.
This one just came to me, and it's a bit of a. I think the logic, you have to jump a little bit. They kill the animals because people are building homes in forest. So,
Yeah.
I just thought about it. As people move into wooded areas, the people building the houses, or even just people who living out there, they'll end up killing more animals because they built a house in the forest. So, students, we've given you many examples of how you can combine the cause and effects with since, so, therefore, and because. And so now I would like you, in your time, to write 6 sentences, some with since, 6 with since and because, and 6 with so or therefore. So 6 combining the sentences with so or because, and then no, because and since, and then 6 sentences combining with so and therefore. Feel free to text me those, and I can check over them for you. All right.
Yeah.
Now we're going to look at section 3, part A. It says, work in a small group, read the newspaper headlines, discuss the possible causes and effects of each event. Think of other possible headlines to discuss. So we have, there's pictures of 3 headlines. First, there's the messenger, and it has another coyote moves into town. And then the second one is the news, and whale washes up on shore. And the third is daily, polar bears drowning and as ice caps melt. So what you're going to do next is to make sentences, cause and effect sentences about these 3 newspaper headlines. So for example, Ms. Susan, if you'll read the mustard colored dialog bubble, I'll do the greenish teal one. And here's two
Okay.
examples of what you'll be doing.
Mine's not in color, so it's the mustard, the left one or the right one?
It's the left one, the first one.
Okay. Coyotes are losing their natural habitats, so they're moving into towns.
Good. Or you could say coyotes are moving into town because they're losing their natural habitats.
Mhm.
Good. So maybe we can do two. You can do one, I can do one for the whale, and then you can do one,
Okay.
and I can do one for the polar bears.
I hate to do the habitat one again, but that's what I think is happening. Well, let's see. I'm seeing. Since the whales are frightened, or no, but I'll do plural. Since the whales are frightened, they wash up on shore.
Good. Because there are many boats in the water that confuse the whales, the whale washes up on shore.
Because there is habitat loss due to fishermen, the whale washes up on shore.
Good. Are you still there? I can't see you.
Yes. Oh, well, I'm sorry, I laid it down.
Welcome back.
I forget what I'm doing. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's a little trickier with the phone. Luckily,
it is, but that's
I
okay.
have my computer, so I'm hands-free.
Yeah.
Maybe one more with the whale. The whale washes up on shore, so many people are concerned about the whale.
Okay.
All right, let's try a couple with the polar bear.
Well, the easy one, because the ice caps are melting, polar bears are drowning.
Yes, that's good. The ocean water is getting warmer, so polar bears are drowning as ice caps melt.
Oh. As the ice caps melt and there is habitat loss, the polar bears are drowning.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Because there is fewer. Wait, let me get my verb right. Because there are fewer ice caps, the polar bears are drowning.
Okay. Have we done the really easy one? I don't remember, but
maybe the first.
The easy one is polar bears are drowning because the ice caps melt.
Yes.
I think we've done that.
To change it and use so instead of because, we could say ice caps melt. Ice caps are melting, so polar bears are drowning.
Yes.
So maybe one more. You can maybe one more example for any of the three pictures.
Trying to think which word we have not used very much. It's hard to use so.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do the middle one. I can't wait. I'm going to have to use because. Because there was a hurricane, the whale washed up on shore.
Yep, it's good. I'm going to try one for the coyote. And this will be our last example. And try to do so. The ranchers or farmers have the farmers or ranchers have taken over the land, so another coyote is moving to town.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe I'm making it too complicated, but
No.
Students, you get the idea. And I'd like you to try to make 2 sentences about each of the pictures as well. And you can text me those as well, and I can check over them. Miss Susan, it's always a pleasure. So tomorrow, you're in, well, tomorrow is a big day. Tomorrow is May 1st, which means that the shelter in place order is going to expire or no longer be enforced. What are your thoughts about that, and maybe what are some of the ways you're going to stay safe, even though we are not going to be made to shelter in place any longer?
Well, I've had a big discussion about this with a couple of friends of mine who've tried to convince me that I need to just go back to life as it was. And I'm not going to do that because I think the students know I've had some heart issues. And I have to be very careful that I don't do something to cause myself to have a stroke or a heart attack. And that's always a possibility. It's not, I'm not going to like fall over dead right here.
Right.
but because I'm older than Mr. Bryan by a lot of years. We won't talk about how many, but it's many, many, many years older. So he doesn't understand what it means to be older, but he will one day. But anyway, so because I'm older, because I have some issues, I'm going to be much more careful about when I get out and how I get out and where I go. Like, I'm still not going to go to the grocery store. In fact, I have a friend who I just sent her my grocery list a few minutes ago, and she's going to pick them up in the morning and bring them to me. And I'm very grateful for that. So I'm just going to be careful about how and when I get out, because you don't know about the people next to you.
Yeah.
You know, there's no way to know. And I will wear my face mask when I go out. Like, I wear it here at my apartment when I go down to check my mail.
Yeah.
Even though there are no cases in our apartment building, we haven't had any, and we are all older. And we're very fortunate. But nobody here has caught the virus, and we're trying our best not to. So I will continue to shelter in place for a while, because I'm not sure it's time we should be doing this yet.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for sharing. And students, I wanted to, I say a lot of things, and I wanted to offer someone else a voice. Just because shelter in place is expiring tomorrow and things are opening up does not mean we need to stop being safe. And so let's follow Miss Susan's lead, and let's continue to be safe, wear a face mask, wash our hands, and just be careful as we go out, and thoughtful. Just because the state's opening doesn't mean the virus has gone away. So let's do be careful.
And I want to stay healthy so that I can come back and see my students face.
Yes, hopefully next fall.
Hopefully next fall, that's my goal.
Fingers are, well, for us too.
Yes.
Our fingers are crossed that we'll be able to have class again in the fall. But thank you so much for being here again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's always
Yes.
fun.
Yes, and students, I hope you have a good day, and we'll talk again soon. Bye bye.